through injury, but he was very tough in his novice days and was a decent hurdler, so he's one that still potential has some more to come if he's over his injuries. 4 non-runner, 5 the Mercurial Tidal Bay for Ruby Walsh, who gave him a great ride last time, only for him still to apparently split the dummy, and 6 What a Friend, who we've been showing on Racing UK recently with regards to Denman's second Hennessy, where he himself just appeared to carry his head awkwardly from the last, taking nothing of course away from Denman. But what a friend the mount of Darryl Jacob, becoming Paul Nicholls' second runner in the race. So 2 for Henderson, 2 for Nicholls, 1 for Bridgewater. 8 to 13 Long Run to get his show back on the road. Tidal Bay 6s. Burton Port, as I say, I think he's fascinating. 13 to 2. What a Friend 9s, and the Giant Bolster, who should at least ensure they go a reasonable gallop, one would have thought, 11 to 1.
The Gold Cup hero and favourite for this year's race is 13 to 8 on, and he looks magnificent. He's jogging round the paddock, Long Run. He has the earplugs in at the moment, and he will have them in all the way to the start. But then in the race, he will have the earplugs taken out, which is an interesting about turn, given the fact that since he's worn them, he appears to have really taken his career to a new level.
He does. It's only essentially a couple of runs, isn't it? It's last year's King George and it's last year's Gold Cup. This is him giving the unavailing chase, but closing down on Gordo Star in the memorable 5th win on Boxing Day. And he was never going to win, but I like the way he kept at it all the way. I mean, he was fighting a losing battle from the time they turned down the far side. He's fluffed the last as well, but he still makes inroads on the run-in. And I mean, he will not fail for lack of well-being or fitness today. I mean, he does look really well in the paddock.
He looked better in condition today, to my eye, than he did either before the King George or before the Betfair Chase, when he looked fine. But he looks in the peak of health, and he's moving to post, beautifully balanced under Sam Whaley-Cohen, who will have had a little bit more match practice since the King George in the pointing field.
Yeah, although nothing in the last couple of weeks, of course. There haven't been any, which must have been annoying for him, but he'll get a lot more between now and next month, I should think.
And of course, at various stages, this fixture looked something of a doubt for him with the permutations of his various bands, but here he is, alive and well to ride one of the best steeplechasers in training.
Just keep moving the silly arse chase and they all escape their bands, don't they?
6 to 4 on Long Run. He has an intriguing field up against him. 2 of the most talent quirks in training, Tidal Bay and stable companion What a Friend. A horse with fabulous form around Newbury, Burton Port. Long Run stable companion off a monster absence, and the Giant Bolster, who put up an excellent performance at Cheltenham last time in a very good time when allowed to dominate, and his record in small fields is very good, so lots to go at behind Long Run, and Tidal Bay is a good place to start. He did well behind Midnight Chase last time.
He did. I think the fact that he got interfered with once or twice probably didn't harm him, because it's that sort of horse, and he was produced by Walsh, only the second time Walsh has ever ridden him, to give chase to Midnight Chase, and did his usual thing of flattering briefly and then settling for second. I mean, he's still got an enormous amount of talent, but winning a race is very difficult for him.
I thought this course might suit him ideally. He's had to do so much of his racing around Cheltenham, and Cheltenham's not an easy course for a horse that doesn't always travel very well, even though he's got loads of winning form there. And I can't help remembering how well he ran at Haydock against Imperial Commander, and the bends here are obviously that little bit wider, and that'll help him a shade. 6 to 1. He's an interesting prospect again, Tidal Bay, as he often is. His stable companion What a Friend, his best run was a Hennessy second to Denman.
It was.
Or perhaps the Gold Cup 4th behind Long Run, which would give him some chance on these turns.
Take your pick. 11 lengths he was beaten in the Gold Cup, and he's £10 better off, which is the salient point for Long Run, that he's got to give What a Friend, Tidal Bay and Burton Port £10 each. Yes, we've only seen him once this season over hurdles. I thought he looked okay in the paddock. I mean, not outstanding, just fit enough.
And Burton Port would be the one, if I were riding Long Run, I think I'd be most frightened of, because for all he's had a long absence, Jonathan, he was a good straightforward stayer and a trier.
Yes, and always seemed to be doing better than anticipated.
An overachiever.
Yeah, it's nice, isn't it? Yeah, it's like, don't pay the ferryman who won again yesterday. I thought he would definitely come on for the run.
And the Giant Bolster will set this up, we think, and his connections think he will do a bit better than that.
Well, his days in handicap company have rather been dished by the wide margin win at Cheltenham last time. He's now ready at 160. He's got to give £6 to the bottom three, so it's not easy for him. He's got entries in the Racing Plus Chase, the World Hurdle and the Go Cup.
Relatively unexposed still at this trip.
Yeah.
Of 3 miles, the dead 3 miles here for the Betfair Denman Chase. Wonderful that this race has been named in honour of a horse who brought this place alive so many times in his illustrious career. And the horse that beat him in last year's Gold Cup is the favourite long run. Let's enjoy this, and really we will, with Simon Holt.
And they're off, racing for the Betfair Denman Chase. 3 miles, and heading to the first, the Giant Bolster straight into the lead in the hands of Tom Scudamore. Long run in the big noseband will take it in second place. A mistake at the first by What a Friend to the outside of Tidal Bay, and Burton Port is the back marker in these early stages as they head on towards the second. And the Giant Bolster, the wide margin winner of a handicap at Cheltenham last time out, leading the way to the Gold Cup winner. Long run in second. Tidal Bay on the right then of What a Friend in the blue cap worn by Daryl Jacob, and Burton Port and Barry Geraghty in the Trevor Hemmings colours of green and yellow quarters and white sleeves, held up at the back of the field. They head towards the cross fence, and so the Giant Bolster, repeating his front-running tactics that proved successful last time out. The Giant Bolster towards the cross fence by about 5 lengths to Long Run on the outside of Tidal Bay. Then What a Friend and Burton Port as they swing left-handed now, with the line of fences up the home straight ahead of them, culminating in the water jump right in front of the stands. The Giant Bolster from Long Run and Sam Whaley-Cohen on the left, twice beaten by Corto Star this season. Long Run, and on the far side Tidal Bay, followed by What a Friend and Burton Port. Burton Port returning from this long absence, off the track since finishing second in the 2010 Hennessy Gold Cup. Over this open ditch, they're all safely over. The Giant Bolster continuing to make it by about 5 or 6 lengths to Long Run in second place. At the next play one, and all solid jumping there, and now on to the fence in front of the stands, and the Giant Bolster just opening up a slightly bigger lead now over Long Run, going towards this plain fence, coming to it, and jumps it well. Long Run over in second, and now heading towards the water jump with just over a circuit of the course remaining in this Betfair Denman Chase, named after the great steeplechaser who won a Cheltenham Gold Cup and 2 Hennessy Gold Cups under huge weights here at Newbury. Long Run just getting in a little bit close to the water there as they now prepare to race away towards the back straight. The Giant Bolster clear by about 10 lengths to Long Run. Tidal Bay on the inside of What a Friend, the 2 Paul Nicholls trained runners side by side, and Long Run stable companion Burton Port still held up at the back of the field. About to turn now into the back straight, and on towards the line of 5 fences down the back. The Giant Bolster comes towards the first of them, about 7 clear of Long Run in second, who's been jumping well. In third, What a Friend. Burton Port moves up on the outside of Tidal Bay. Now an open ditch. The Giant Bolster over in front, and Tidal Bay made a right mess of that at the back of the field, and losing a bit of ground on the others. On towards the middle fence down the back straight. The Giant Bolster shortens up over in front of Long Run, and then What a Friend, Burton Port, and a gap of 7 or 8 lengths then to Tidal Bay at the back of the field. Now they've got another plain fence up ahead of them. The Giant Bolster measures it well. Long Run, no real mistakes from him at all so far. What a Friend, Burton Port and Tidal Bay, and on towards the last in the back straight. This is 6 out they're coming to, and the Giant Bolster has made it all so far from Long Run in second, and there's not so much between them now. The margin down to a couple of lengths, followed by What a Friend, who's travelling okay in third place under Daryl Jacob. Burton Port is in touch too, Barry Geraghty. and the one out of touch at this stage is Tidal Bay. So they swing left-handed once again and head down towards the cross fence. This time it's 5 out. And the Giant Bolster leading the way still, but tracked in second by Long Run. He's just pulled to the outside of the leader here, going towards this cross fence now, drawing right up alongside the Giant Bolster. Long Run just to flick through the top of the fence, travelling really strongly. What a Friend is third, and then Burton Port as they now head into the home straight with 4 fences left to take. The Giant Bolster by a length to the Gold Cup winner. Long Run in second. What a Friend back in third. Burton Port there in fairly close company, and Tidal Bay maybe just beginning to pick up again at the back of the field. Here towards the 4th last, the Giant Bolster and Long Run at this, and there was little in it there between the 2 leaders, followed by What a Friend, who's pushed along, and then Burton Port. Now this is an open ditch. Long Run travelling very strongly on the left of the Giant Bolster at this open ditch. Long Run just ran down it slightly and didn't give the Giant Bolster much room. Meanwhile, What a Friend has come back on the bridle on the far side. Long Run shaken up a bit. Burton Port is staying on over the second last. Long Run by 3 parts of a length to What a Friend. Burton Port and Sam Whaley-Cohen is asking Long Run to stretch now as they run towards the final fence, but it's not a decisive move, and Burton Port is challenging his stable companion. Long Run stood off the last, but left-handedly stays on now on the run-in. Burton Port in second, What a Friend in third, racing up towards the line. This is only going to be workmanlike if he can get home at all, because Burton Port is attacking Long Run. Long Run by half a length to Burton Port. They hit the line. Long Run just prevails. Only just to Burton Port in second. What a Friend, the Giant Bolster, and finally Tidal Bay.
The champion Long Run's Gold Cup preparations continue with victory in the Betfair Denman steeplechase. He has been followed home at fairly close quarters by 2 Hennessy runner-ups, Burton Port and What a Friend. Nicky Henderson dominates at Newbury with the first 2 in the opening pair of contests. Shaken up vigorously by Whaley-Cohen, Long Run, who looks set to do things decisively 2 out, has ended up having to work quite hard in the final analysis. But you'd be brave to say this detracts notably from the chances of him regaining his Gold Cup, and indeed you might well point out that Burton Port is another interesting addition to the Gold Cup picture. Fascinating contest, Jonathan.
Yeah, very, very. I think that's a big plus, the Long Run. I think he's travelled like the best horse in the race, giving £10. His jumping has been fine. I think he fiddled one. Other than that, he was fine. He's had to fight really hard in the end to hold off Burton Port, but he has held him off. I think that's an ideal prep run for the Gold Cup. Although he's had to get serious on him, it's only in the later stages. It's only from the last fence. I don't think that's it's not as if he's had a hard race all the way round. And I agree. I mean, I think Burton Port will definitely come on for the run, and he now becomes a live place hope in the Grand National, even though he'll be in the Gold Cup, even though he'll be meeting Long Run on £10 worse terms.
A Burton Port in the Grand National, just to pick up on your faux pas there, is absurdly well handicapped on this evidence in a race in which Phil Smith has given horses of his calibre a chance. But that's one for another day, perhaps, concentrating on this compelling race in its own right. I thought there was a lot to like about the way Long Run went about his business for the first 7/8 of this.
Yeah, very much. I mean, he travelled well, he jumped fine, one small blemish, and he had them beaten up the home straight, and he's just either got tired or idled or whatever, but he still won the race. I've timed that almost bang on the course record, which takes a little bit of the gloss off Sprinter Sacra's time in the first. I mean, the conditions are obviously absolutely perfect. I imagine the rails are probably on their innermost level as well, and the times are going to be quick in the chases. Doesn't mean they're not top class horses, because they obviously are.
Yeah, we're talking about the best novice in the country and the reigning Gold Cup winner, rated 180 plus, beating 2 horses of high calibre on their day.
Exactly. We're going to have a Tidal Bay mistake, unfortunately, which seems to cause him to lose interest, and that's the end of his chance. But the other pair, What a Friend and Burton Port, the 2 Hennessy runners up in their time.